Hi, my name is Alexandra Rhodes, and for my Culminating project, I offered to pull weeds for an elderly couple within my church community. This job entailed pulling weeds such as dandelions, blackhorn plantain, crabgrass, carpet weeds, and clovers. We cleared these leaves so to prepare for a space for gardening. I use this project to connect to the idea that humans influence ecosystems for the better and for the worst. These weeds were growing around many plants and shrubs that seemed to be in the primary stage of growth. Being in the primary stage is almost like starting from scratch. Plants, shrubs, and weeds will themselves to grow in areas that are mainly rock and non-dense soil. This makes it hard for any bigger trees to grow and reproduce. This is similar to the weeds I pull because the soil was very thin and a large amount of weeds and plants were growing within the rocks as well. It is often bad for other ecosystems, such as freshwater ponds, to be surrounded by plants in the primary stage. This is because it allows for more runoff into the water, also known as eutrophication. Eutrophication happens when loose soil runs down into the water, bringing too much nitrogen along. This creates dead zones, making other water life incapable of living in those areas. Having bigger trees in the secondary stage helps because their roots block off soil runoff, absorb more of the nutrients, and regulate the nitrogen. We can help prevent this by monitoring the soil, using selective logging, or encourage biointensive planting. Biointensive planting is when you plant different types of plants from different ecosystems. The different root patterns allow for plants to be more space efficient and to keep the soil nutrient rich. I would suggest this to the elderly couple I helped so that they would have a wide variety of plants as well as helping the ecosystem. You would also notice that if you were to take a core sample, as we did in ecological studies group, you would see that where the weeds grew, the soil was a lot less dense and had more clay and rock underneath. A core sample gives us an idea of how much nutrients there are in the soil, and we usually measure it by the percentage of clay versus humus, which is the nutrient-rich soil. Weeds often strangle and suffocate the plants that are surrounding it. So we can prevent this by monitoring the amount of weeds there are, loosening the soil, adding new soil and making it thicker and denser so that weeds have a harder time growing, and educating ourselves. As humans, we often harm the ecosystems, but with just a few changes, we can change our influence to become a better one.